it's Vass here from Aussie Playground, and welcome to another unboxing of yet another monster truck. I think it's fair to say that monster trucks are pretty much one of my favorite RCs, especially recently. I've been getting quite a lot of them, and this one is one that I know a lot of people have been wanting me to get for quite a long time, probably even years. This is the Savage XS from HPI. Of course, a lot of people are familiar with this truck. You all know a lot about it. And I don't think I'm really going to show you anything new. However, I am going to give you my first impressions of it because, well, I got this because a friend of mine's actually got the one without the Raptor body. He's got the standard one, which I think is the older version. Actually, I think his is the older version. And I think he still has the old electrics in it. I can't quite remember. But I've only seen it a couple of times, and I've driven it, and the thing's an animal. And I wanted to kind of give one a go. And I went out to a local hobby shop. Believe it or not, I actually got this from a local hobby shop. Yes, Western Hobbies. You guys have probably seen me drift my Team Magic drift car out there. They've got a drift track at the back. And I went there, they had one of these on the shelf, and I went, should I or shouldn't I? And I did. So, away with the box, and here is the truck. As I said, there's probably not going to be anything here that you haven't seen before, but I just want to run you through it, just go through the process and give you my first impressions of this truck, although I have had a little bit of a cheating sort of first drive of it already via my friend's one. So anyway, in the box you get some spare parts. There is a cross wrench in here. It looks like hex extenders for your wheels, so maybe it gives you a slightly wider offset. It looks like there's some shims in here as well as some body pins, or some spare body pins. What else we got? Some Allen keys, a couple of servo horns, and they even give you some spare rod ends and a little kind of the little metal bit that goes inside the rod end. Anyway, there's a couple of spares of those. Batteries for your remote. HPI have always been very good at providing batteries for your remote. And then, of course, a bag full of boring literature that I know you all love to read. Come on. There is a information booklet here. You may want to read through it, you may not. HPI stickers, awesome. So you can, decorate the truck a little bit more if you want. Stick them on the wall, on the toolbox. I've got a lot of stickers in my toolbox, actually. That's where I put most of them. Some information here about the cover for the ESC. Maybe you want to read that. There's also a little kind of warranty registration card. Now this is a really cool thing. You don't see a lot of this well, you don't see this with a lot of other RC companies, especially somebody like me that's had so many different brands, some well known, some not so well known. But HPI, they go out of their way to connect to their customers, and they give you a card, and you can sort of register your truck, and then from there they can give you local events and where you can service the vehicle. You can even win prizes, so I'm assuming they have like little giveaways and things like that. Yeah, so really cool that they do that sort of thing. If you're interested, of course, you register all that stuff. The instruction manual, as I've always said, it is like the Bible, the encyclopedia for your car. You know what an encyclopedia is? Probably don't. Okay, so this is actually really cool. Very well illustrated, written in a few different languages as well. Lots and lots of information and how to set up your car, how to set up, change tires. I mean, just the basic stuff, but also very complicated stuff in regards to setting up your ESC, such as your throttle range and so forth. So calibrating the ESC to your remote. Working on your diffs, million and one things in here. Really good user manual. There's also a little page in the back, which I'm not going to try and find right now, but it has some option parts such as wheelie bars and universal drive shafts and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of information in there. The remote, thank goodness they supply this remote, because in the manual there's actually a picture of an old remote, and if you've been with the channel for a while, you probably remember I had the HPI Micro RS4, which had the Ford Focus body on it, and it was supposed to be like a Ken Block type of, was it Ford Focus or was it Ford Fiesta? I think it was a Fiesta. Anyway, it was like a Ken Block little mini thing, and it came with this poxy remote. Like, it was just so bad. These remotes, which I also got with the HPI Bullet Flux that you see back there, These are brilliant, can I say. Really nice feel, collapsible antenna. You got steering dual rate. You got steering and throttle endpoint adjustments, which are kind of analog, but they're in here. You do need a little tool or a screwdriver to get in there. Very, very cool. It also has a toggle third channel switch as well. On and off switch back here, and of course runs on 4 AA's, which they include in the box. Now for the truck, I'm actually a little bit excited about this one in case you can't tell. This is a very cool looking truck. Of course, not a lot of graphics on this. Plain Jane is what they've gone for here, and I have to say it doesn't look too bad. I've had a little bit of a look at it. Bit of a peek under the hood. One thing I don't like that they've supplied with this particular model is this great big antenna that's kind of sticking out back here, which is got a great big hole on top of the body. Now, this being a 2.4 gigahertz remote or transmitter or radio, however you like to refer to it, you wouldn't think that it would need such a big antenna tube, and you wouldn't really need to cut a great big hole in the body, but they've done that. So that's the only thing that straight away I'm not a huge fan of. It's not a big deal, it's not a deal breaker, relax, but it's just something that I think they could have done a little bit better there. All right, let's take the body off. Now, an interesting thing about this truck, I was actually trying to find out what scale it was, and I couldn't I couldn't find it on the Tower Hobbies website, I couldn't find it on the HPI website, and I couldn't find it in the manual either, and there's nothing written on the box. The best that I can give you as far as scale is HPI call it a mini monster truck, and they call it, they said that it's 1/3 or 2/3, no, 2/3 the size of the original HPI Flux HP. I think that's, you can check out the website yourself if you want to. And of course, I'll also have links to the Western Hobbies Facebook page, and I'll even have an address in there. So if you're in Australia, if you're in Melbourne specifically, and if you're out in the western suburbs and you want to go check out Western Hobbies, go see the guys there. They do really very good prices on RCs. Now here we have the body, and I think somebody already told me, I can't remember if it was on Facebook or on YouTube, that these bodies don't last very long. And I kind of have to agree, because it is so thin. I mean, it's almost see-through. It is so thin. It's crazy. But again, you know, it's a fairly small, lightweightish sort of truck. So maybe it can take a little bit of a hit. I don't know. It is a gorgeous body though, can I say. Very, very nice. Licensed Ford Raptor body. Well done HPI on that one. Very, very cool. Now, of course, for the truck, I know that you have seen this one before. A lot of you have. Some of you may have not. But this is a twin vertical plate monster truck. It's basically a scaled down version of the original big HPI Savage HP. The big brushless monster that's been around for a very, very long time. I think the original HPI Savage was released back in the 90s. Someone was telling me. So this is a platform that's been around for a long time. This one's a little bit newer, of course. Don't know exactly when it was first released, but it has been around for a while nonetheless. Couple of things really impressed me straight off the mark as soon as I took the body off. First and foremost, these A-arms are way oversized for a truck this big. The A-arms are super thick. I mean, there's the thickness of my finger. There is the A-arm there. You can see these things are designed to take a huge beating. Now, it does have plastic links on top here, so no adjustable camber front and rear. It's pretty simple as far as adjustability goes. There is an extra adjustment point on the shock tower. Both front and rear have got that, and that's really about it. There's no adjustment on the A-arms or anything like that. So it's pretty plain Jane as far as that goes. You do have adjustable body posts, so if you do find a different body that you want to use, or you want to raise the body up for whatever reason, you can raise it up. Don't know if you can really lower it all that much, but you can raise it up a little bit. Power system. This uses a 4000 kV brushless motor, and it uses, I believe it's a rebranded Hobbywing ESC. Now, I could not find an amp rating for this ESC, and I'm sure somebody out there will probably find one. I went on Tower Hobbies, I went on the HPI website. Best they could tell me is that it runs on 3S. My guess, if this is a rebranded hobby wing, it's probably an 80 ampere. That would be my guess. I doubt it would be 120. I don't think you need it. Something that big. I think it's an 80 amp. But don't quote me on it. It's a best guess scenario. Front and rear bumpers look pretty sturdy, and judging by the punishment that I've seen my friend put his Savage through, his Savage XS, they can actually take a fair hit. So pretty impressed with that. Now, suspension, I have to say, feels brilliant. And after driving my friend's one, I have to agree that, it does work very well. The suspension on this is not bad at all. It does use plastic body chocks with plastic shock caps. They are threaded bodies though, so no preload body clips on this one. You can just twist the little collars on them and you can adjust it very easily. Has a waterproof receiver box, waterproof ESC, and of course a waterproof steering servo. So you can splash this one through water or snow, or go take it in the bathtub if you want to. That's entirely up to you, but you can sustain the odd splash of water without too many problems. Ball bearings all the way around. Uses 2.2 inch wheels and tires. Now, speaking of wheels and tires, the wheels, they look fantastic. I really like the wheels. Like a black chrome, I think they are. Beautiful wheels. The tires themselves, I know already from experience that these tires are not great. They do sort of okay on tarmac, but as soon as you get onto some loose surface, and even on grass, they do struggle a bit. A lot of that has to do with the shallow tread pattern that they have, and the fact that the foams are just super soft. It's just, they're not great tires. They'll get you by. You don't need to throw them away straight away, but you will find that you are eventually going to need to do something about it, because grip is a little bit of a luxury with this guy on most occasions, especially if you're going to be running this on 3S. Because this, I don't know if you caught it on the box, it's claimed at 65 miles an hour with an extra, I think it's a 34 tooth pinion and 3S LiPo battery. Insane. First and foremost, great claim to speed, because most people claim like 60 miles an hour on the box. HPI's gone 65, which is 105 kilometers. Now that is a huge claim for such a tiny little truck, and there's two problems with that. Number one, changing the pinion on this, I could imagine, wouldn't be a lot of fun, because your transmission and everything is kind of buried in between your twin vertical plates, and you need to disassemble a lot of the truck in order to get to it. So that's something that's you probably want to do once and leave it alone. But then if you're going to be running tall gearing, you probably want to gear it down so you can bash with it again. I don't know. Apparently front and rear diffs are really easy to get to. I was reading up, I think on the box, it said that it only takes 4 screws to access your front and rear diffs. Even if it takes half a dozen screws, I think that's great. But your center transmission and everything, that's going to take a little bit of work. You may want to, put the kettle on for that one, because you're going to be there a while. That's my estimation. Now, as I was saying, getting to the transmission is a little bit tough to get to, but also reaching the speed, physically trying to drive such a small RC, which I think is probably like a 1/12 scale, I think somebody told me as well, is like a 1/12 scale. Going at those speeds, not only would it look incredibly fast, but it would be a little bit tricky to control. So good luck. I'm going to wish myself some good luck, because I'm going to try and speed test this first of all before I bash it, and I'm going to see what sort of speed it does both on 2S and 3S. The battery tray is actually a really clever design. Over here we've got these little clips. I'll bring this up close to the camera so you can have a look. So you've got these little clips here. You basically flip up this guy like so, and you flip up the other guy like so, and then this whole tray can actually open up just like that, revealing a very generous battery tray. Now you can use standard 2S and 3S packs in here. There is a little bit of foam included, as you saw, for some of the thinner packs. But of course you can't use batteries that have bullets coming out of the top of them. The cables need to come out either from the end of the battery or the side of the battery. So I do have a few batteries in here at home that I can actually use in this without any problems. And it's a little speed demon. These things are very, very cool. Interesting, not interesting, but clever design with these trucks as well, is that your front and rear A-arms are actually symmetrical, so you can actually use them both front and rear and left and right just by flipping them around the right way. So clever design there. Same with these steering knuckles. I know that I think the same guy that owns the XS, he actually owns the HP as well, and he kind of went head to head with the Nero, and my Armour Nero kind of bumped it and he broke one of the knuckles when the HP took a bit of a tumble, and all he had to do was just kind of rotate the knuckle from one end to the other, and it was fine because he just broke the little arm, which is this guy here. If I can get the camera to focus here. So he kind of broke this, but on the part that he was using, and he just had to kind of swap this one with this one, and he had the broken piece was actually facing forward, not needing it. And I think that's a really clever thing because you can move them around to kind of make it work for your, well, at least the front ones anyway, the rear ones are different. But you can make it work in your favor, which is great. So good design there by HPI. I think they've done pretty well with that one. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I'm very much looking forward to running it. And as you can tell by the smile on my face, this is something that I've wanted for a long time. And I finally got my hands on one. And I can't wait to show you how this takes on the BMX track. Maybe I'll put it up against my friend's HPI Savage XS as well. And we'll have a little bit of a race wars. Don't know if it's really going to be any huge difference between the two. I think he's geared his up though, so maybe I'll have to do the same to keep up with him. Another thing worth noting is underneath these plastic skid plates that you see back here, HPI have actually got aluminium plates both front and rear to strengthen them up. So again, that's a very clever thing, just to give the truck a little bit of extra strength. You probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see it actually, because you can kind of see it shining through this little gap just here. So there's a plate right underneath there. Don't know if you'll see it under there, and there's another one on the back underneath there as well. So a very, very cool truck. Aluminium hinge pin braces on both the front and rear of both the front and rear A-arms. So nicely upgraded there. But all solid links everywhere, so there's no toe or camber adjustment as far as I could tell. Actually, yeah, nah. But look, suspension feels good, the truck looks really solid, the body looks fantastic. The remote, of course, is excellent. I've used these remotes before, and I can't wait to run it. I'm going to charge up some batteries, take it up to the track, and have some fun with it. I'm going to leave it here because I know you've seen a lot of this truck in the past, but that is my unboxing of the HPI XS Savage, or Savage XS. I'm getting all tongue-tied now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the video description for a link to my Facebook. I'll have information there to Western Hobbies, where I got the truck from, in case you're interested or you're in the area and you want to go check one of these guys out, or you just want to go in there and maybe grab a can of paint or some spare parts, up to you. But worth having a look because yeah, they've definitely been very supportive, and yeah, I'd encourage you to check them out. They're a good team over there at Western Hobbies. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time.